refund checks for taxpayers as part of the administration's push to cut federal spending.
This comes as the new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, got some good news from a federal court. Doug Luzader, live for us to explain all of this. Doug, good morning.
Before we get into the explanation of it, welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. Today's topic, we'll be talking about this $5,000 refund check, but I'm going to give you the breakdown of how they got to $5,000 and let you know that it's a step that this must take. This will happen in 2026 if the proposal go in, and I'm going to let you know the sentiment of people. First, they wasn't with Trump. Now they all with Trump because of money. Where you guys' moral compass at? Because you do anything. Now, I support Trump, but most don't. But you do anything for some money, right? When he mentioned money, it's I'm for Trump. But before that, it was nothing. Leave y'all thoughts down below. Smash that like button. Get me to 10,000 subs. That's all I ask. Also, I hit the AirTag EMF protector. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Let's get into the show.
Bob and Brooke, good morning. We don't know if these checks will eventually be cut, but the idea apparently is intriguing to Elon Musk, and that may carry a lot of weight at the White House.
I think he's going to find $1 trillion.
Yeah, I think so.
President Trump and Elon Musk setting their sights high for spending cuts during an interview with Fox's Sean Hannity. And while federal employee layoffs have sparked protests, Musk says the goal is essential.
If the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt. This is a very important thing for people to understand.
And Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has a running count of the savings, now pegged at $55 billion.
That's good.
When a user on X suggested cutting checks to taxpayers to refund some of those savings, Musk replied, "We'll check with the president."
This is nothing more than a money grab.
Democratic critics have been unsparing in their criticism of his cuts. But a federal judge told a group of Democrats.
See, the Democrats going to say this was nothing but a money grab, but y'all the same people that was grabbing all the money. I don't get it. Y'all the same people that he's actually trimming the fat and letting you guys know that this is where the money is going. They asked for this. They asked for that. They put Black Lives Matter. They put all these different programs in place, right? Just to scam money from everyone. So now it's like Trump is robbing the robbers to me. And he's giving back. It's like Robin Hood, and he's trying to give back the community some of the money, at least some of the money, right? And this is bad for the precedents. This is bad for the United States of America, because in order for us to be great again, you can't be great with a whole bunch of debt. We own the whole monetary system. So how are we the ones in debt? I don't get it. I just never understood it. So it's actually time for a change based on the economical standpoint of it. But leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. When that money coming in, that check come, what y'all going to do? That should be the question. You're going to see a lot of people turn the other way and said, you know what? He gave me some money, so now I'm okay. Just do something strange for a little bit of change, huh? Leave your thoughts down below.
Democratic state attorneys general that she will not cut off DOGE's access to federal systems without clear evidence of imminent, irreparable harm. The current record does not meet that standard, she wrote. Still, Democrats plan to keep up their opposition.
DOGE is simply taking a meat axe at government in defiance of the law and without thinking of the consequences.
Reports that cuts are about to start excuse me, at the Pentagon, which obviously has massive amounts of funding. It also has a lot of support from
Cat's got your tongue, because you know Mr. what's it, Doug Luzader from Washington, D.C. At Doug Luzader. Cat had your tongue, huh? Because I already know that you work for probably the other people. You could tell just his point of views. You can simply just tell. But let's go.
A lot of Republican members of Congress. So this is where things may get somewhat dicey here.
So there's a lot of concern, Doug, that the axe is swinging too quickly and very haphazardly. In fact, yesterday, a question was brought up on why people who were safeguarding the nuclear weapons stockpile were let go. And then all of a sudden, they had to quickly try to find these people and rehire them because they were critical.
And, you know, the White House and Elon Musk have been asked about this approach, saying that they may at times go too far in paring back the bureaucracy and have to change their approach or ultimately decide that something needs to continue existing and not be cut. Apparently the approach, according to the Post, the approach they're taking at the Pentagon is to ask them ahead of time, look, what programs are must-saves? What employees need to stick around, and try to avert those kinds of mistakes? But they acknowledge that mistakes may be made along the way.
Yeah.
Of course, they're only humans. And no one in history has ever done this before. And I mean absolutely no one. So will it be pain at the beginning? Of course, just like anything else. But will it be gains at the end? Of course, just like anything else that you try to change in your life, right? Now, let me explain to y'all, because a lot of people saying, well, how did they get to this $5,000 number, right? And the only way to get to that number, you have 87 million people in the United States of America, right? 20% of $2 trillion, right? Each person will get about 4,800 and some change, if I'm doing the math correctly. So news station is going to say 5,000 because it's a round number, right? People like numbers like that. So, but the only way for us to actually get those things is for us to literally cut about $2 trillion out of the budget. And they will incentivize you for letting them know, hey, d.o.g.e. will, hey, what's wrong with the department? How many people are actually doing what? Can we cut some more? And you're going to have a back and forth, right? Just like how when d.o.g.e. tried to, let's just say, for example, enter the Pentagon to budget, enter the IRS to budget, enter the school, the Department of Education to budget, Department of Defense to get a budget, right? Or to see the numbers, you're going to have rebuttal. You're going to have people that's like, no, it's illegal to do this. That takes time. So let's just say that give them a year till 2026. If everything goes smoothly and they cut up to, right now it's just $55 billion that was cut, or at least that was saved, right? If they save up to $1 trillion, I believe the magic number is $2 trillion, then you get a $5,000 check each United States citizen, which to me, that makes sense, because what they're going to do with the money after you cut it? Think about it like that. What's going to be done with the money after the cut, after the saving? What's going to do with the money that's saved? The only way to stimulate the economy is literally give it back to the people. That makes sense. Instead of, I believe Trump borrowed, in his term, he borrowed and then gave us a stimulus check. This time you don't have to borrow any money, because you borrow money means that you're putting us back in debt. We don't want to put us back in more debt, right? Why not use the money that we're actually saving, give to the people, let them stimulate the economy in the right way? To me, that's ingenious. To me, that makes all the sense in the world. That's just to me. Okay, the next subject that we're going to go to. But first of all, before I go to the next subject, let me know what you guys think about that refund check. And if we don't hit the $2 trillion cut, then whatever amount of money that we end up cutting, then the math is it's 87 million people in the United States. Depending on what number is cut, put that number in, that can be X. Then you would then divide that by what 20%, and then you will multiply that by 87 million, or 87, the amount of people. And then once you do that math, the number will come out on how much each person will get, right? And to me, that makes sense. So we're aiming high to say that they're going to cut at least $2 trillion out of the budget. That's what we're aiming for. That's the magic number. That's what they have to cut in order for you to receive $5,000. So will they make this? Leave your thoughts down below. I think it's a lot of things that could be cut in the United States. A lot of fraud. Look at what they told you about Social Security, for example. All right, before I go to the next subject. Look at what they told you about Social Security so far. You have 2 to 3 million people over the age of 115, right? Do y'all know anyone over the ages of 115? So that's all fraud. So you got Social Security sending checks to people that's dead, but Social Security numbers have been duplicated. So who does that money go to? Can we talk about it? Seem like inside fraud to me. Someone's collecting those 115-year-old to 130-year-old Social Security numbers. Somebody is, and it might be your government. Now, With that being said, let's speculate. What do you guys think about that? The Department of Defense, they're using a lot of money for defense. You don't know where the money is going for defense. Pakistan, Al Qaeda. You don't know if the money is funneled through Medicaid and Medicare to then start up proxy wars all over the world. So this will definitely highlight a lot of things. And they're also doing a budget. They're auditing the IRS. So you're auditing the auditors. To me, that's magnificent. It's about time because institutions send them money, gear them up, gave them millions and billions of dollars, right? To come and get you for audits. Did they need that money, all that money, just to audit people? What was that about? But anyway, just leaving some food for thought. I want to know what you guys think about this. Can we reach this budget cut by 2026? And if so, whatever number that we end up getting, would you guys be satisfied on the actual refund and them trying to stimulate the economy without borrowing or putting us into any more debt? That's the question. Now let's go on to, I wanted to switch subject and go on to the actual meeting with Elon and Donald Trump, because you know the media is trying to paint them against each other. That's what they do. Once you guys are doing the right thing, they try all different tactics, right, in order to separate greatness, right? But I think Elon and Trump will go far because you have a businessman alongside with another businessman that's very successful, that's treating America for the first time like a business. So let's continue. Let's go to I wanted to go to this right here on Fox. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Excellent. Now let's push play on this one.
Let's start with this. So he's working for free with Doge. He's kind of put a lot of his life on hold. And you sued Twitter a number of years ago. You just made him pay you $10 million?
That's right.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
I sued from long before he had it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really did a number on me, you know, and I sued and they had to pay, they paid $10 million settlement.
You're okay with that?
I mean, I left it up to the lawyers and you know,
To me, it was defamation of character. You know how many people talking bad about Trump and making up all these lies? These are not facts. Most of the things they say about Trump aren't facts. It's just lies. And he sued Twitter, but you know he can't sue the news media channels because they have a law stating that they can use things called propaganda, right? Even if it's a lie, against you just to castrate their stories. We need to change that law in the government.
the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think is the right, it makes sense.
I think it's fun.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount when the lawsuit.
He got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
He's become one of your, if you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
I don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's, you know.
It's nice the way he said that. You know, there's something nice about it.
Really is. You know, because I mean, the president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or wrong. Not once.
You know, I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody take as much as he's taken.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this, and I'm like, how do you deal with it?
Did I have a choice?
Well, you would say that to me. I'm like, what am I going to do? Worry about it? And, you know, and then culminating in 2 assassination attempts, which resulted in your endorsement.
Well, I was going to do it anyway, but that was
it.
Precipitating event. Yeah.
That speeded it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The day of the assassination.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It sped it up, but I was going to do it anyway.
Mr. President, with your indulgence, I'm convinced that people only know a little bit about Elon. I don't think they know everything about Elon because as I studied for and prepared for this interview, I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I think people will think about Tesla. Democrats are demonizing you and trying to make the country hate you. I just want people to understand you a little bit better and the person that you've gotten to know and have now put a lot of trust in.
Yeah.
And, you know, just let's go over a little bit of your bio, starting with PayPal and how you became involved in Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and all
take
these.
a while. I mean, you know, I think the way to think of me is like I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
Your shirt.
Yeah, and that's why I like my T-shirt says tech support, because I'm here to provide the president with technology support. And now that may seem like, well, is that a silly thing? But actually, it's a very important thing, because the president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. You know, so. If you take, for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order where, hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals, and yet they were still doing that even as late as last week. And so, you know, we went in there and we're like, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out.
And that's
and this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing, because the president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
No. You're both aware, you have to be keenly aware that the media and the punditry class, not that, you know, I think you've proven they have no power anymore, because they threw everything they had at you and they didn't win. And that was, you know, the New York Times, Washington Post, 3 networks, every late night comedy show, 2 cable channels. They just threw everything, lawfare, weaponization.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, oh, president.
They're trying to paint the narrative as if they don't belong or they're each other's enemy, when they're not. They actually work better as friends, as business partners. Let's forget friends. They work better as business partners. And that's what's happening. You have Elon, which is the tech. You have Trump, which is the old school real estate mind mogul, that's straightforward, that has the answer. Trump is actually bigger than Elon, but Elon is actually bigger than Trump. So when you compare, you lose the joy out of this situation. I don't even want to compare them, both of them, right? I think it's no comparison. Each is good at what they're good at, and together they're even a better force. It's just that simple. So I'm in all agreement with that, but let me know what you think.
And Elon Musk, for example, you do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred.
Yep.
Actually, Elon called me. He said, "You know, they're trying to drive us apart." I said, "Absolutely." No, they said, "We have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock." And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yep.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
And at the end of this interview, what I would like is I want people to know the relationship and know more about you. What is the relationship, Mr. President?
Well, I respect him. I've always respected him. I never knew that he was right on certain things, and I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. He did Starlink. He did things that were so advanced and nobody knew what the hell they were. I can tell you in North Carolina, they had no communication. They were wiped out. Those people were, they had rivers in between. Land that never saw water, all of a sudden there was a river and a vicious, like rapids. People were dying all over. They had no communication. They said, you know Elon Musk? They didn't really know I knew him. I said, yeah. He said, could you get Starlink? It's like the first time I ever heard of it. I said, what's Starlink? A communication system. That's unbelievable.
I have it.
Yeah. And he said, I called him and I said, listen, they really need it. And he got like thousands of units of this communication, and it saved a lot of lives. He got it immediately, and you can't get it. I mean, you have to wait a long time to get it. But he got it to him immediately, and I said, that's pretty amazing, and I didn't even know he had it. We watched the rocket ships, and we watched Tesla. I think, something that had an effect on me was when I saw the rocket ship come back and get grabbed, like you grab a beautiful little baby. You grab your baby. It just
hug the rocket.
I've never seen.
Everyone needs a hug, including rockets.
And he said, you can't really have a rocket program if you're going to dump $1 billion into the ocean every time you fly. You have to save it. Right. And he saved it. First time that I've ever seen that done. Now, nobody else can do it. If you look at the U.S., Russia, or China, they can't do it. And they won't be able to do it for a long time. He has the technology. So you learn. I wanted somebody really smart to work with me in terms of the country, a very important aspect. Because, I mean, he doesn't talk about it. He's actually a very good businessman. And when he talks about the executive orders, and this is probably true for all presidents, you write an executive order and you think it's done. You send it out. It doesn't get done. It doesn't get implemented. They don't implement it. Maybe they're from the last administration.
What's order without action? So Trump gives the order. Elon is the force and he gives the action. That's why I say together they work so well together. This is to me, this is a part of history that we all are within, right? We all are living to see it. Also, the new financial system is about to change. Who you think is going to make that happen? Most likely Trump and Elon. So they're paving the new way for what life is about to be like. Would there be a lot of turmoil in between it? Sure. But would the grass be green on the other side? Yes, it will.
And they are in some cases. You try and get them out as fast as you can. But as soon as he said that, I said, that's interesting. You write a beautiful executive and you sign it and you assume it's going to be done, but it's not. What he does is he takes it, and with his 100 geniuses, he's got some very brilliant young people working for him that dress much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
they dress in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
but he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
Yeah. I actually am tech support, though. But
he gets it done. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of tech people, and you have people that are good with tech, but he gets it done. I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering. It would be great. And you say, great, when are you starting? But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing. They couldn't get the approvals. It would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. They could just get it done. I was in real estate. Same thing in this. He gets it done. So when he said that, he said, when you sign these executive orders, a lot of them don't get done, and maybe the most important ones. And he would take that executive order that I'd sign, and he would have those people go to whatever agency it was. When are you doing it? Get it done. Get it done. And some guy that maybe didn't want to do it, all of a sudden he's signing. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
Do a lot of those executive orders have to be codified into law? You need the Republican Congress
and
to
they
follow
will be.
up?
A lot of them will be. Yeah.
They will.
But look, in the meantime, we have 4 years. The beauty is we have 4 years. That's why I like doing it right at the beginning, because an executive order is great. I mean, the one problem is both good and bad. Because when they did all these executive orders, I've canceled most of them. They were terrible. I mean, we're going to go radical left communist. Okay, it was crazy. Their executive orders were so bad. If they ever got them codified, you'd never be able to break them. So the damage that Biden has done to this country, and it's not even Biden, it's the people that circled him in the Oval Office, okay? But the damage they did to this country, in terms of, let's say, open borders, there's so many things, but open borders, where millions of people poured into our country, and hundreds of thousands of those people are criminals. They're murderers, they're drug dealers, they're gang members.
I'm gonna let you guys finish watching the rest of that, but go look at the exclusive interview with President Trump and Elon Musk. They try to tear them apart, but to me, they have been getting closer together again. And this is what America needs: real leadership on all ends, right? Leave your thoughts down below. Smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. I appreciate everyone. Thanks for tuning on in. And you know how